Okay, good to get back out here after some players taking finals and classes and coaches out recruiting. So it's good to see. Good to have Marquise back out here after a while off. Didn't look like he's missed a beat. Had a number of big plays today, and thought the defense did a great job early on, led by Hayes Pollard.
How important was it for the program to have T. Martin stick around?
Yeah, it was very important. You know, assistant coaches, you know, every year there's turnover with them, and it happens. But at this time, especially in recruiting, his connections, not just with guys in his area, but the entire class, his connection in the receiver room, especially with Marquise, you know, it would have been tough. It would have been tough to replace him as a coach. It would be tough to replace him as a recruiter, and certainly we couldn't replace the relationships he's already developed with recruits and with players. And we're going to lose him someday. He's going to be a head coach here pretty soon, but we're glad we didn't lose him quite yet.
What's happening with the quarterback situation? Doesn't look like Matt's been out here today.
Yeah, and that we didn't expect Matt to be out here. We didn't expect Matt to practice until we get down there to the bowl game, and so we've been splitting reps with these two, much like we will in the spring, and really going back and forth ones and twos with them, giving them both shots with the ones and twos, just like we will when we get back to the spring.
Are you prepared to go into the game if Matt doesn't play? I mean, are you guys going to be ready to go?
Well, I mean, fortunately, if that were the situation, we've already done it, so it's not like that would be new. And so we've done it in the game, and we've done it in practice. So we anticipate Matt practicing when we get down there, and we'll see.
Would Max be the first up at this point if Matt doesn't play?
Yeah, this is just you know, part of the eventual competition of who is the next starter next year, but we would not flip them right now. No.
Coach, can you take me back to Robert's class? You know, a lot of those guys had a huge decision to make, not only with a new coach, but also the 2-year bowl ban being in effect. Did you have to do much pulling and tugging, or were those guys pretty much locked in, committed to honoring their commitment?
No, that was a very difficult 2 weeks there. I think we had 2 weeks before signing day, basically, once we got situated here and got hired, and with a lot of things swirling around about what was going to happen, everything all the way to the death penalty. So that was not an easy job. And as I've said before, I think anywhere else, any other place, there's no way they would have signed those guys. It's because of this place, and even though they knew there were some problems most likely coming and some things going to be taken away from them, they still came here.
Do you see any that class especially? I mean, they 2 years. I mean, they haven't been to a bowl yet. I mean, these juniors now, redshirt sophomores. I mean, do you see anything out of these guys this week, or you know, as you guys are preparing from an excitement standpoint?
Well, I think that's, you know, we've talked a lot about that. You know, with all the preseason expectations and BCS bowls and not going to a BCS bowl, making sure we're in the right frame of mind. We're very appreciative that we get to go to a bowl after having that taken away. So as a staff we are, and as players we are. So we get extra practice, we get extra time as a team, and you grow up wanting to play football. And you grow up wanting to get out there to practice football, and we're able to continue to do that.
Was it very distracting today with the helicopters kind of going the whole time?
No, I just thought that was the bowl game. You know, the TV, they wanted to get some extra TV film, and so it wasn't distracting at all.
Could you talk about preparing for cut blocking, and if you guys are going to do that in practice, when you're going to, and how risky it is? Yeah, you have to do some of that. This is a very unique offense that we're playing, and so as we get closer to the game, we'll do that, and we'll have to do it live, and we'll obviously do it with our service team, but that's going to be very critical. That's why the extra time, I think, is really good with this opponent. Some coaches are concerned when they go up against a team that cut blocks because of potential injuries. Does that concern you? In practice or the game? The game against. No, you can't think that way. You know, you got to go out and play hard, and you know, play against a very tough scheme.
Is there anyone, any of the younger players or guys that maybe didn't have great opportunities during the regular season that have asserted themselves here that you have stood out for you guys as coaches?
Well, I think George Farmer's had 3 really good days, which is great to see. We were just talking about that, him and I, and you know, not just one, but he's put together 3 in a row, which is good to see, and you know, hopefully that will continue. And I think Victor Blackwell's done similar things those 3 days as well, flashed at times.
Coach, you know how passionate the Tennessee fan base is, and how much love, you know, T is there. What was your thought about, you know, him going, talking, and deciding to stay here?
Well, we already covered what it means to us by him staying and how huge that is. That's not an easy situation for him. He got family right there in Knoxville. Very difficult. Got a street named after him, alma mater. That's a hard thing to say no to. And so I think it speaks volumes for who T. Martin is. He had said some things during the hiring process, him and I together, and he honored those. So that's rare nowadays, especially with all those things pulling at him. That was not an easy decision at all. But like I said, speaks volumes who he is, and we're going to eventually lose him here to be a head coach one of these days.
What are your thoughts on Zach Banner also playing basketball?
Yeah, I think it's good. Just like Marquise in track and Nikel in track and DJ in track, Tony Burnett, I think it's really good. Two-sport athletes, you stay competitive. And people always get concerned with academics, but I think when you have a schedule and you're in a rhythm, that you do better academically than with free time with college kids. So we're all about it.
Are there any skills, I guess, in basketball that can translate to him on the offensive line?
Sure, there is. Yeah, a lot of the hand-eye coordination and what he has to do playing defense and moving around in basketball, and what he has to do with his feet carrying over has a lot to do with, especially offensive tackles. All right.
Thanks
Thanks guys.